Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Summer 26, a global soccer showdown with myself, Gary Striker, and the Qooligan. Good morning, Qooligan.
Good morning.
Good morning indeed. We are a day away, or the World Cup kicks off tomorrow with the Mexican-South Africa game as we build on these run-ups. So we thought today we would do a continental macro view of the wonderful, beautiful, magical continent of Africa and cover the teams
the mother continent, baby. We're going home.
Indeed. So we've got it. And of course, before we get in, for all of those who have been listening before, hope you appreciate all of the guests. Please like, follow, subscribe. It really does help us in terms of sort of getting visibility. If you do have any requests on any guests that we'd like to come on, or any sort of personalities or topics that you'd like to see us discussing as well, please feel free to reach out to us. Of course, you can always go and grab all of our writings, musings, and insights at hooligan-soccer.com. We have got a lot of content that we are churning out as we get into this 6-week vortex that is the World Cup that is about to ensue, right?
Very
Indeed.
true.
Okay. All right. Let's get into it, Qooligan. So we're going to start with Group A with our first African nation that we'll be reviewing, and that is Bafana Bafana, South Africa. They are kicking off tomorrow against Mexico in their first game, which, as we've discussed many times, is a repeat of South Africa's opening home game in 2010. So it's basically a sort of mirror image of that, which would have been 16 years ago. That's crazy to think that. I remember that very exact game, watching that. Qooligan, just looking at Group A with Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czech, we know now that with this sort of expanded format, the probability of 3 teams getting through is very, very high.
Yeah.
So if we look at this,
but not for South Africa.
But this team, this is for them. This is a hard group. This is not an easy group, right?
No. Yeah. This once again, South Africa managed to make it all the way to the big boys table, only to find out that they can't. That their eyes are sitting right level with it. No, it's not and I'm not trying to diss on South Africa, this was a tough draw for them. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, also being so early in the competition, they're likely going to have the misfortune of being the first team eliminated. That's a very high likelihood here. Maybe they'll shock us, maybe they'll surprise us, but no, but they won't. Right. Ironically, I think the only team that they could probably shock and defeat would be Mexico itself.
I agree with that. They could. But as we've discussed previously as well, is that Mexico at home in the Azteca is not going to be a welcoming environment. So
no, it's not. But also, it's not a great Mexican team. And so they've had a lot of Aguirre's made some odd decisions. The camp itself, I think, was somewhat poorly organized. I mean, there was just so much drama and fracas about pulling teams out of leagues before the leagues were over, et cetera, et cetera. And so you kind of get this feeling. At least I get this feeling that this opening match, it's going to be so nervy, so anxiety inducing. For fans and for the players. The only people who are probably going to be immune to that are going to be the South Africans, because what the fuck? They just got to play, right? Show up, kick a ball around, have some fun, know? And if they can play like that, they might be able to pull a shocker. I don't think it'll happen, but they could. It could happen.
Yeah, if you look at their previous form right in the run-up to this, they drew against Jamaica, drew against Nicaragua, lost to Panama, lost to Panama twice. They played Panama twice, and lost, and then drew, and then obviously got knocked out of the AFCON back in April to Cameroon. So their form coming into this is not particularly strong. No, and then if you look through their roster, what's wonderful is it's wonderful to see the Mamelodi Sundowners and the Orlando Pirates providing a very large amount of their squad. It's
the vast majority play. They play in local leagues. 73% of the team, right, play locally. Which is fine, and that's not unsurprising. It is actually, though, somewhat surprising in Africa to see that at least, South Africa does have, a fairly strong league. North Africa has strong leagues. Central Africa, right? Once you get between the Sahara and South Africa, you don't get much in the way of very strong local leagues.
Yeah.
So you'll see teams like Ivory Coast, Senegal, and DR Congo. Nobody plays in their domestic leagues. They all go out to play, right?
Yeah.
South Africa is very different in that regard. They have a high degree of, in fact, they have the same percentage of people playing in their local leagues as Germany does.
Wow,
which is
it speaks to the strength and the sort of the pull of the domestic league, but also it speaks to the quality of it, because the idea and the assumption is that if they were better players, they would obviously been plucked and go to bigger leagues where there's more money and more sort of talent.
Well, that's the downside of that statistic, Gary. You're right. And is that they're good, but they ain't great, right? And so, and they're young. They're on the younger side. Their average age is 26 years old, which for this World Cup is a relatively youthful group. They've got 8 players who are under the age of 24, which again is another large number. And nobody on their team has more than 100 caps. So in terms of experience, it's not there. In fact, they have 12 players, the most of any team that have 10 or fewer caps.
Wow.
So it's a relatively brand new unit that's been called up, right? And so, all right. I mean, that is all. And their coach is a Belgian named Hugo Broos. Yeah, and who's made a big career out of coaching in Africa. So we'll wait and see what happens. In either event, I think you'll see big support. Right, you will not see vuvuzelas since they have been banned. But you will see lots of support, lots of energy from the crowd, and hopefully some good, sock 'em in the nose, aggressive stalker, and not just sit back, absorb, and wait for the counter. I'm looking to see something a little bit more positive from South Africa. Let's just see what happens.
I think, I'm just looking through their roster, as you say, a large amount from Mamelodi Sundowners and Orlando Pirates as well. And I think, but just looking at terms of like the player who's got sort of the highest of the highest level is probably their Burnley forward Lyle Foster, who's their 25-year-old striker, although scored 3 goals and 2 assists in the whole of last season as well. So it's not, I think he's probably their best player, right? So that's probably about as sort of high as they can reach in terms of talent on the field. But again, hopefully maybe there's a team spirit. We don't know. Maybe maybe Bafana Bafana, which is the boys is the exact translation, gets them, hopefully they can get some through. And best case scenario, I think to them is they qualify through best third place, one of the best sort of third places.
I mean, really, that's all they're going for, right? Like with many of these teams, and you'll hear us talk about this on the pod, is it's all about just getting one win. Right? As we know, one win should be sufficient to at least give you a chance. Similarly, you could go for 3 draws, but if
it's a hell of a lot easier just to get the
anybody
win.
anybody that can sneak a win, sure, that's great. And by the way, somebody at some point in a previous podcast said, if you can get 3 draws and a positive goal differential, you're guaranteed in. I'm like, you can't get a positive goal differential with 3 draws.
I'm glad our our sort of critical thinking was on point that episode.
No, I heard that and in the back of my head I went, that doesn't track, but there's no reason to call it out in the moment. We'll just embarrass whoever said it, and it might have been me later on in the podcast. But who knows? Who knows? Okay. All right. Good luck to South Africa, though.
Good luck, Bafana Bafana.
It's really not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy road for you.
As having lived in that beautiful country for nearly a decade, I will be cheering and supporting South Africa in that game against Mexico tomorrow. But my hopes are not high.
Yeah. Okay. Unlike the next team we're going to talk about, which has extraordinary expectations.
Yes. So that is, so let's move on to Group C and, of course, focus on Morocco.
Morocco.
Yes. Yeah. Morocco are in a group with Brazil, Haiti, Scotland. You'd expect Morocco to comfortably get out of this group, pushing aside Haiti, probably Scotland. And again, that Brazil-Morocco game is actually going to be a very, very good game and a very competitive one.
It's going to be, and that's the last game, correct?
Yeah. Yes, I believe you're right. No, it's the first game. Their first game is against Morocco on the 13th.
Oh, well, that actually then changes the dynamic significantly.
Yeah, I mean,
really, realistically,
if they don't win,
they should decide the group, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So they're looking at it. I mean, Morocco got to the final of the African Cup of Nations and in bizarre circumstances ended up having the trophy taken away from them. It's still, as I say, for me, I know.
No. They made it into the final. They lost, and then they had the trophy handed to them.
Yes.
Via arbitration.
It went to Morocco and then, see, this is where it gets confused. I forget who won it and who lost it and who lost it and who won it. Yeah.
There was a lot of drama around that game.
Yeah.
Then they lost in extra time.
And
then it was overturned later. And so they are the champions. So they are the first African champions to have lost a final.
Yes. Yeah. And what's interesting, I was just looking here, it was awarded as a 3-0 win as well, which is interesting considering where they didn't score those goals. But anyway, anyway, we'll move on from that, which is there. One thing you can say about Morocco is their form is absolutely on fire. No losses in the last 5, 3 wins, 2 draws. And they've played against, okay-ish competition. They drew against Norway recently. They drew against Ecuador. Paraguay they beat. Burundi and Madagascar, pretty comfortable wins as well. And then got to the final of the African Cup of Nations.
Those should be comfortable wins. But, you're talking about, with Norway, you're talking about a team that's also sitting inside the favored status, not heavily favored, but, they're a team to watch.
They will go.
The World Cup, and they held them, so that's great.
They will.
I expect big things out of Morocco. I would obviously the minimum is getting out of the group stage.
Oh,
but I think anything less than a semifinal appearance is going to be a gross disappointment to them.
And that is testament to their ability because they got, last World Cup, they did get to the semis as well and then got to the finals of AFCON and obviously sort of were awarded it. So, so their standards and expectations are very, very high.
And I got to tell you, they got a hell of a path. It's not going to be easy regardless of what happens, because if they win their group, they play the second place team out of Group F, which is probably going to be either the Netherlands, Japan, or Sweden. Neither of those are going to be easy.
Yeah.
And if they come in second, it doesn't really get any better for them. Then they have to play the first place team out of Group F.
Okay.
So either way, they're playing one of those teams. That's gotta be that's a terrible, terrible draw. In the sense of looking down the bracketology of it.
Sure, on the bracketology, and again, with all the permutations. But, I would favor Morocco up against a Japan or a Sweden team, although they're very good. And maybe Netherlands, that would be a very good game. Hey, Holland, Netherlands against Morocco, very, very good game.
Very good game.
Okay. And then I
think Morocco definitely, of all the African teams, right, of all 10 African teams, they are the one that has the greatest chance to make it into the semifinal round.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at some of their players, the big stars that they've got Brahim Diaz of Real Madrid. Of course, they've got the wonderful Ashraf Hakimi, who plays for PSG, who's just won his second Champions League. They've got Mazraoui from Manchester United. They've got one of your players, Chaddy Reed from Crystal Palace as well, looking at this. They've got good players.
Listen, Rod was that poor kid. He was out 18 months with 2 back-to-back knee injuries. But he was a very important player for Palace down the stretch. Stepped up, played the full 90 minutes in the win against Rayo Vallecano to help lift the Conference League trophy. So, it's nice to see him get the nod. I don't expect him to be getting a tremendous amount of playing time.
Yeah. Okay. And then in terms of sort of attacking lineups, they've got obviously the Olympiacos striker El Kabi, and then they've got this young Eintracht Frankfurt player, and I'm going to butcher his name. This is Ayubi Amaimuni Etchegabuyab. Is that how you pronounce it? Forgive me. I've just completely butchered that. That's going to be a clip. Yeah.
That was That was a significant syllabic butchering right there. Yeah,
that really was. But he's got quite the name. He really does. But although he's
you
only
just
got
go with
against,
Ayubi, and I think that would
yeah,
probably be fine. Or it could even be Ayub.
I
I can't tell if there's an accent on the E.
There's
or not.
no accents. No accents. Yes,
Okay.
no accents.
Yeah, so that's probably Ayub.
And probably my favorite name of any player at this whole World Cup, their goalkeeper, Bono.
Well, yeah, and even that's not sure because I've seen that name spelled 5 different ways. That's the best thing. One of the best things about Arabic is that you can spell it a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Being phonetic as opposed to, purely, there's a word for it. Logarithmic? Not logarithmic, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's, Morocco. I think, definitely Morocco definitely favorite African team to go the furthest and deepest in this competition for sure. I know there will be some surprises. And then, so moving on to Group E, we have the wonderful West African country of Côte d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast, if we were to translate it into English directly. Group E, again, this is a tough group for them. Germany, you'd expect Germany to probably get a result against them. Curacao is going to be everyone's whipping boy, although they could be a banana skin team. And then Ecuador, Côte d'Ivoire is actually not such a bad matchup. I would say that's pretty even, right? Ecuador are ranked 23rd in the world, and Côte d'Ivoire are ranked 34. So, I mean, depending on their day, there's not huge amounts of difference between them.
This is one of those groups where it could go either way. Germany is Germany. They're not the Germany of old. So, and there's always in the back of their mind, there's that middling history of them getting eliminated in group stages before. So, they'll be keen to not let that happen. No, but Ivory Coast they're one of those sides. They're one of those sides that I'm looking at my list here and I'm going, sure. Another strong African team, probably the 3rd strongest of the, maybe the 4th strongest. Depends on whether you put Ghana above Ivory Coast or not. And a lot of that's going to be on any given day, who they play, how they play.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got a monster back line.
Yeah.
Right? Ivory Coast's back line is just not just big, physically imposing, but just skilled imposing. They all play top teams across Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think it starts there for them.
Yeah, that's true.
And then of course up front, you've got some really interesting, not gigantic names, with the exception of Jan Diomande, right?
I mean, he's the young hot talent that's probably going to get a move.
The young guy. Yeah. Of all the young players of all the young players, no disrespect to Lamine Yamal or and the like, he's really the one who could make a real name for himself. He's already made a name for himself at Leipzig, but his value, and he's a big trade target.
I think all the big clubs are falling over themselves to sign him as well. So again,
I know we've done at least 2 stories about how he's going to Liverpool, and Liverpool would probably, they'd sell their slot. Oh, they did sell slot. Never mind. They'll try to
they'd sell their star player and manager for him as well, right? Oh, that's
sure.
It. Yeah.
But they've also got Amad Diallo from Manchester United. They've got Simon Adringa, who plays for Monaco, as well as he plays for Crystal Palace, Avon Guesson, but he's really an Aston Villa player because he's going to go back on loan to Villa.
Yeah. So no, they've got a strong, as you say, and just looking at the height of all those back defenders, I mean, they're all above 6'2", right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're tall. It's
strong boys. Yeah.
And that's with the interesting thing when you start to get them up against a team like Germany. Germany loves the set piece. They try to take advantage of their height. Doesn't work against Côte d'Ivoire. Yeah, it won't work. It's and of course Ecuador's not the tallest, and Curacao, well, not really. They're just like you said, they're going to be the whipping boys, and the banana skins at the same time. I do think Curacao has the potential to surprise a lot of people. If only just because they're a complete unknown. Really, nobody can have any true idea of how or why they're going to play. And we do know this, though. They're very physical.
And we love the underdogs.
Curacao players are not afraid to go in and put a body on you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The other thing the final point I would like to just make about Côte d'Ivoire as well is, as we've seen sort of some of these teams in their run-ins, right? I know Argentina played against Iceland yesterday as well, and we looked at their run-in. They've been taking very easy competition. They've not had much of a challenge. Côte d'Ivoire, look at this last 3 games in the run-up to the World Cup. They played France and beat them with, of course, and the other thing that we did not mention is Doué, right? Desiree Doué's brother, who plays for Strasbourg as well, who scored that goal against France. He looks as though he's going to be good in that defense. But yeah, this is Côte d'Ivoire's previous 3 friendlies. France beaten 2-1, Scotland beaten 1-0, and South Korea beat them 4-0. So they have come into very, very good form, and so looking pretty good. So
no, they're going to be. I think they get out of this group regardless.
Oh yeah, they're through. Yeah, they're going to be a threat. Okay, let's move on just in the name of time. So let's move over to Group F, which is legitimately a group of death. It really is, with the Netherlands, with Japan, Sweden, and then of course you have Tunisia.
Yeah,
Tunisia ranked 44th in the world. You'd say, looking at this, they are probably the least ranked team in this group, and so chances of getting out are slim. Yeah,
absolutely.
Are slim.
Yeah.
However, they've got some good players. They don't have some bad players.
I see Tunisia's role in this group is kingmaker. How you play against Tunisia will determine where you set up, either first, second, or third. Because let's face it, Tunisia will come in last, right? Barring some really truly shocking results, that's what will happen here. And it's funny, you got 10 teams from Africa, and 4 of them are all, it's like the entire southern rim of the Mediterranean qualified for the World Cup, with the exception of Libya, right? I mean, literally every country qualified in North Africa. So sure. Let's see what happens. Tunisia will be fun. They will be, and the Tunisian fans are great, by the way. I have watched L'Espérance play, and wonderful. So get ready if you're near any place that has a substantive Tunisian population, go watch this with them, because you will have a hell of a party. It'll be great.
Indeed.
But I don't give them much hope. I just don't give them much hope.
Yeah, they're going to struggle in that group, that's for sure. Okay, bashing through this and getting into Group G. Egypt are in a group with Belgium, Iran, and New Zealand.
This one's, I mean, so firstly, Egypt, we all know it's about Salah, right? This is it. This is his last chance to make an impact on the international stage with Egypt. So there really is no other story except maybe, Omar Mamouche. He's the other guy who could go and do something.
Yeah.
Again, a very high percentage of native players here. The Egyptian Premier League is a strong one, so they play there. I don't know. This is one of those things where it's so much about one player that it's going to be underwhelming.
Yeah. Is there? There's almost a sort of a thread that you can pull here and say, is he in the same category as the Ronaldo and the Mbappes of this, where it's about them, they make it about them, and if they don't perform, then there's possibility that sort of some problems could occur from within this camp?
I don't think. I think the problem is that the media, like us, are making it about him. I don't think he does. I don't think he's never really, he does not, historically, he's never played that.
I mean,
with either club or without either club or country.
There was a little bit of petulance going on sort of towards the end of the season with Liverpool, with posts and those kind of things, if you want to read into it. But that's the only thing
I'm
that
not
I could
reading
see
into that. That's a completely different scenario, and to try and translate that into he's making it about him for Egypt. No, he never has. He's not going to. I think the problem is that there is no other player outside of him that Egypt has produced. You could talk about Marmoush, but he hasn't had a great season.
Not there yet.
He could have an impact here. But no, the problem is that he is Egypt, for good or for ill. That's the burden that he bears. So let's see what he does.
Yeah.
They will get out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, they could top this group.
Not in, because they've got New Zealand, and New Zealand is the Curacao of this group, and New Zealand probably, they could, be the worst performing team in terms of goal differential and a bunch of other things. We'll have to wait and see. Right?
I mean, I could see them beating Belgium, to be honest, and topping the group. I really do think that they could. There's a world in which they top the group. Yeah. Okay. Let's move through to then Group I, where we have France, Senegal, of course, the African team, and Iraq.
Excuse me.
Group H. Did I miss? Cape Verde. Cape Verde. Oh, so of course Cape Verde. Yes, as well. 69th in the world. Smallest country
in the by smallest country by land area. Interestingly, by land area. Well, actually, not even that. Second smallest. Excuse me. Curacao is the smallest, hands down. Right, but Cape Verde is the second smallest. In fact, if Curacao hadn't qualified, even Curacao had to come along and steal that from them. So thanks for that.
Yeah, this is the team that every single player plays overseas, right? They're all sort of full sort of. There's no domestic league in Cape Verde, right? Is that correct?
No, there is. Nobody plays in it. Same thing with Curacao. There's a domestic league in Curacao, but nobody plays in it.
Okay.
There are four countries, in which there are 5 countries in which, 6. My goodness, look at me. It's just, it's like squeezing lemon on pork. Everything comes out. But let's just go with that. Nobody plays in the domestic league. Most of the players are diaspora. They weren't born in Cape Verde. They're descended from Cape Verdeans. There are more Cape Verdeans that live abroad. In fact, I think 2.5 times the current population of Cape Verde live abroad in various locations. But at the same time, they have been a very disciplined team. To qualify for this event, they had to beat Cameroon, who've been in World Cups before, in qualifying. It wasn't easy for them. They went outright, and it was really quite an amazing story on how they've managed to build this team up over the years, including their captain Ryan Mendes, who has bounced around from club to club and doing this. He's 29 years old, essentially a journeyman player, goes wherever he could, but always put his national team first. Right. His job was to be the poster boy to get people in for their team. And then they've got this one, their goalkeeper, Vozinha. Got to look at this guy. I mean, take a look at his picture. He looks like he's 65 years old, like craggy face, like all just, that's the guy that I want sitting on my line. None shall pass. Very Gandalf.
Oh my God, this guy. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He's scary. He's scary.
No, he's got years, right? He's one of the 40s. He's one of the 40 plusers in this tournament. But I think I have called it, and I'm going to stick with it. I think Cape Verde has the ability to get out of this group.
They can beat Saudi Arabia and get points.
Not necessarily against Spain, but you're playing Uruguay and Saudi Arabia, and neither one of those teams is necessarily a pushover. Saudi Arabia is better than I think people expect, but I think Cape Verde is going to shock a lot of people.
They could. I agree. I could think they could get a result there. Hey, they could absolutely. And if you get 3 points, then you can get through on third place. So there's a world in which they. I think
they probably beat Saudi, maybe even Uruguay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on to Group I as we go back to it. Senegal are in the African team in that group against France, Iraq, and Norway. This is definitely another group of death for sure. Absolutely. France, both of our favorites. I think they're going to win it, along with probably sort of Spain and France are the two strongest teams. Norway are not to be off-written. Norway are going to be a very strong team. Iraq are going to be in a bit of problem there, but Senegal, they are a good team, ranked 14th in the world.
Yes.
And then if you just, we discussed this the other day, just looking at their players, I mean, some of their players that they have, they're not short of talent, right? They have competitive players that play at high levels and in good leagues, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, they've got the wonderful sort of Nicholas Jackson, who plays for Bayern Munich / Chelsea, heading his way back.
That's not the person that I would put at the top of the Senegal list.
You're only doing
that because the Blues pay a salary.
Well, they pay his salary, so I'm kind of sort of emotionally attached to him in some way, and I'm hoping that he has a wonderful World Cup and a big transfer value comes in for him and sends him off. But we will see. Sadio Mane, 34 years old, playing obviously in Saudi at Al Nassr with Ronaldo, is their star player and obviously still wonderful talent. It'll be his last World Cup. He is a fantastic player. But then, if you just look at, they've got this young PSG kid, Ibrahim Mbaye, who's also sort of looks like they. You don't think? No, well, you don't think he'll get on? We'll get. I mean, he'll get on,
but that's the wrong person you're looking at. The person you need to be looking at is Ismail Assar, who because that is the guy that put Senegal into this competition. Now, I mean, you're right to call out Sadio Mane because Sadio Mane is that impact player, but it's Ismail Assar that got them there. It's his scoring, it's his drive, it's his play that Senegal revolves around. And I'm not just saying that because
he plays for a wonderful club team as well. He plays for Palace, right? No, he's great. He is fantastic.
Far more than Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson barely plays for Senegal. I mean, he does, but no, he's not the player. It's Ismail Assar and it's Sadio Mane, those two. And of course, Iliman Ndiaye from Everton. He's the third part. He's a third part of that.
Of course,
your PSG guy, your PSG guy is young. And that's interesting. But that's not. He's not the impact player that you think he's gonna be. And by the way, Senegal, I think, is the youngest team in. They are, I believe, the youngest team in the competition by aggregate age.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, they've got quite a few youngsters coming through.
No, they're not actually. It's Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is actually the youngest, believe it or not.
Okay. I was thinking that because they've got some experience in there because they've still got Khalid Koulibaly as well, like 34 years of old, 34 years of age as well. Oh, look at that. They've got Edouard Mendy as well, who plays at Al Hilal, former Chelsea player as well. He's done quite well.
Senegal is the second best team in this
Africa.
Group. Out of Africa. Hands down.
Yeah.
And if they weren't in such a tough group, I'd say they were a shoo-in to qualify. I also think that even with that, there's a very solid chance, given that they're going to be one of the 8 third-place teams that moves on.
Comfortably. I think when they come up against Iraq, you put in as many goals as you can and you play for the best third position.
Yes,
right, on goal difference.
Completely agree.
So we'd expect Senegal to come third there. But again, like they're going to be motivated for that France game. Hey, that France game is going to be a game I am going to be watching, making sure I'm free because that is going to be a fantastic game. Absolutely fantastic.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's move through to Group J, and we're following Algeria, who are in the same group as Argentina, Austria, and Jordan. Yeah. Algeria, I mean, ranked 28th in the world. I mean, their form doesn't look too bad, right? They beat the Netherlands in a friendly. They drew against Uruguay. They stuffed Guatemala 7-0, and then went out in AFCON to Nigeria as well. But they are not a team to sort of be written off as well. And I would probably have them as second best team in this group.
Yeah,
I think Argentina would win and they go.
There's very little difference, I think, structurally, formatically between Algeria and Tunisia, right? In the sense that the big difference, though, is that they didn't draw a group of death. So they're likely to advance, whereas I don't think Tunisia will, only because of their draw, not necessarily because of their play.
Yeah.
If you catch my drift. They're not bad. None of the North African teams are bad. So it's just going to come down to who do they have? And they've got Austria and Jordan. Yeah. Both beatable teams for anybody, really, right? I mean, I think it's funny. We've never mentioned Austria once in any of our podcasts. They are, in many cases, the ultimate sleeper team.
They are. They're not bad. Hey, they've got some good players in there as well.
No, they've got some phenomenal players and a very good coach, right? Let's not forget. Austria's coached by Ralf Rangnick. I mean, he's not bad. So you take all of those factors and you think, okay, we'll but Jordan, unfortunately, this is being debutantes and not having a particularly strong, I mean, they had to qualify, so they've got something, but they're going out, and Algeria should beat them, and that's their 3 points. That should be their ticket to, right? That should be their ticket to the next round.
3 points should be enough to get you through in the third place, and then a few goals as well. In terms of notable players that are going through, I'm just looking through their roster. They've got the wonderful Riyad Mahrez, who is now 35 years of old, playing for Ali. That's right. That's how I'm pronouncing that correctly.
He would be the Ronaldo of this team, in my opinion. It's like he's kind of over the hill. He's not a lot. There's not a lot there anymore.
Yeah.
No, it's all about Ryan Aït-Nouri from Manchester City, right?
Man City, the defender.
He's going to be,
right? Yeah.
Running up and down that left line, just making hell. And the good news is that Mahrez doesn't need to run very much if he's getting fed by Aït-Nouri, so that might just play into their hands.
Yeah.
No, up front, their two biggest strikes are Amin Gouiri from Marseille, and then this Mohamed Amoura player who plays for Wolfsburg. Both of those guys are going to be responsible
starters and play for the goals. One other notable mention that I think is worth calling out is the goalkeeper Luka Zidane, the son of Zinedine Zidane and former sort of
won't
winner.
touch the field.
I don't think he'll go as a squad player. Do you think because I don't think he'll be there, but representing his father's home nation, and that's how he got that one there.
No, what's very curious is that actually, wait a minute, I might have to retract that statement. I'm looking here, and all of a sudden, no, the combined number of caps by all three goalkeepers is 10.
Wow. Okay.
So they're all youngish,
inexperienced.
Well, in the sense that they're
internationally experienced.
Exactly, internationally unexperienced. But
okay,
they're goalkeepers. Just stop the ball. That's your job.
Stop the ball as well. Yeah, I'm sure. Growing up, Luka Zidane, I'm sure had plenty of practice with his dad putting zingers into him and learning how to stop those. Hey, can you imagine?
I guarantee you, Zinedine did not hold back against him.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's it. I think they've got 4 boys as well, and like one of them was I think he was in the Real Madrid academy and came up through that, obviously. But interesting. Okay, Group K, nearly there. DR Congo are in the same group as Uzbekistan, Colombia, and Portugal. Now, I mean, Portugal, Colombia are going to be top 2 in this group, undoubtedly. I think that's pretty dead certain. Uzbekistan are going to be not much of a threat. And then DR Congo, ranked 46th in the world.
They could slip into the third. This is a team that could slip into the third position.
I think they'll get third place as well. Just again, as we know, there's going to only be 4 third place teams that don't advance and qualify through to the round of 32. So again, you're going to have to be just basically when you come up against the weak team, press, score as many goddamn goals as you can, and press is the way to get through, right?
No, they got to be looking at the game against Uzbekistan as that's their
goal
moment.
Game. Yeah,
that's their moment. They have to produce there.
Yeah. Just looking at their sort of team, they've got obviously Yoann Wissa, who plays for Newcastle, 29 years of age. I mean,
by the way, has just had shite form. I mean, that guy cannot catch a break. So,
well, Newcastle's season in general was absolutely terrible this season. So that he didn't really stand out there.
But he didn't even really but that wasn't because of him, because he didn't play.
Yeah, well, that's trying to get
not his fault. He got injured. He got injured in a qualifier for Congo. And that's actually what derailed his whole season.
Yeah. And then they do have Gael. I mentioned this, I think, in our preamble as well. They do have that one player, Gael Kakuta, who is now quite old and he was a former Chelsea sort of young player that they snapped up and ended up getting a transfer ban because of signing this player. That basically he was the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back that that had FIFA act to sort of put a transfer ban on Chelsea.
What name?
Gael Kakuta, yes. So he is a midfielder. He's 34 years of age, and he plays.
He ain't touching the field, man. He's on the team, but come on, he plays in the second division of Greece. He's 34 years old, and he's shorter than me. No,
he got 32 minutes against their friendly Chile where he lost. So so he'll be a rotation squad player as well. So he's very short. Had a lot of bags of talent and potential.
I would not put him into the same breath as anybody significant, though. Sorry.
Well, I mean, in terms of if you're just looking through sort of the rest of the DR Congo's team, I'm just trying to sort of see who else is sort of kind of plays at a decent
Noah
level.
Siddiqui, that's the guy who's gonna. That's the guy.
Sunderland.
He's the guy that matters. Right.
21 years of age, plays for Sunderland, right? And Sunderland had a fantastic season, didn't he? He did really well. Look at that.
He's the guy pulling the strings and taking care of all that. And then, of course, defensively, you've got Axel Twanzebe, who's going to be responsible for keeping the whole line intact.
Yeah. Yeah. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well also got relegated with, so a lot of relegated defenders here. So they have experience defending this season. Hey, they've had a good crack at defending this season. Hey, okay. So do you think? The chances of DR Congo getting out are probably, they should be able to just,
it's a third placer for them, right? It all depends. Their final game is against Uzbekistan. That's going to be the. And in fact, that's one of the final games of the group stage. So you're going to have to wait. If you're a Group K pundit, you're going to have to wait right up until the end to see what happens, because that game will decide who gets third place.
It will determine whether they go home or not. They can start their summer holidays earlier. Okay, and then final group, we have Group L, Ghana, obviously. And
finally the Black Stars, right on.
Yeah, finally the Black Stars. And
bring us home, Black Stars. Yeah.
Group of Death as well. But it's interesting. This maybe with the new format, is the Group of Death even a thing anymore? Because just with the fact that top three, pretty much most top threes advance, it's going to be goal difference that decides it.
But I think it's still useful for calling out the difficulty. And plus, there's 12 groups, so there is no true Group of Death. There's really 3 or 4 groups of death where it's really, really difficult, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But even this one, they should get to third, right? Panama is a beatable team by anybody, so it's more like, okay, you get that one win, but it's going to be tough, because really the thing to notice in this World Cup is if a team draws, that's a red flag. Right. A draw is one of those things that is like, ooh, especially if you draw against a team like below you, right? That is not quite up to your level. That's the thing to note, because those results are going to impact everything that happens going down the line in that group. So Ghana, listen, it's Ghana. They show up for World Cups, right?
They do.
This is their moment. They love this. They didn't qualify for AFCON, right? They didn't qualify for AFCON, so they didn't have that distraction. And then, and good players again, right?
Semenyo,
right?
And Ayew up front for Leicester.
I wouldn't put Ayew in as a great player. I'm sorry. It's just the problem is that I think it's legal. I think it's contractual that there has to be an Ayew on a Ghana team.
Oh, of course. It's the same as it's a sort of most common name in West Africa. I think
just you can't not have one of the Ayew brothers on the team. And, no, the real one, interesting one to watch, I think, is Iñaki Williams, right? Who plays for Bilbao. He's an interesting factor. And then this other guy named Prince Adu, who plays for Pilsen.
In Czech, right?
Could be really good. And then, of course, I think it's Brandon Thomas Asante, who comes from Coventry City.
Coventry. Just looking at 13 goals last season. Look at that. And just got promoted under Frank Lampard into the Premier League.
He was a very important reason why Coventry came up. And I expect to see him on the field a lot. Between him, it's going to be him and Adu switching off on that front side. Jordan Ayew is going to get a little bit of time in garbage time, just because out of respect, but he's not going to be impactful.
Okay. And then the only thing that concerns me about Ghana is their current form. If you look back at all of their games, they have given themselves a sort of a tough challenge in terms of their number of friendlies, right? So they drew against Wales, lost 2-0 to Mexico, lost 2-1 to Germany, lost 5-1 to Austria, lost to South Korea, lost to Japan. They have had one draw in the last 6 games. So that confidence-wise is going to be hard. The only thing that they have going for them is their opening game is against Panama. So the idea is come out of the gates hot, bang in as many goals as you can, hold on against England, give a go, and then try and get some against Croatia, right? That would be the game plan.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
And if the game against Panama doesn't go well,
it's
going to be tough.
In trouble, right? Although again, like Ghana, England as well, they'll be up for that game. Everyone wants to go and beat England and play England as well, so they will be tough competition. So
100%.
So wonderful.
And by then they might not have anything to lose. It's just got to go out.
Yeah, and just go for it. Exactly. Wonderful. Well, Qooligan, we have gone over the entire continent of Africa and all of the groups the day before the World Cup is about to kick off. We are on the precipice of this. Are you ready to do this? We're committing to this full every day. Lots of episodes, lots of guests. It's going to be lots of fun. I always sort of, my World Cup experiences, I sort of overdose on the group phases. And then by the time we get towards the end of the group phases, I'm sort of struggling. I think, oh, God, I need a bit of a break. And then there's that wonderful 2-day break between the group phases and the knockout phases, which, you start to miss it and then you get back into it. So it's going to be a wonderful summer for sure. Super. All right, guys. Well, of course, as always, like, follow, subscribe. Hooligan-soccer.com is the place to go. Until next time, we'll be back tomorrow. And we'll go from there.
Peace.